How you doing, dude?
The cheating vegan.
Oh, he's not vegan today.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's a cheating vegan.
So come on, someone's really going to care. And the guy tells Mike,
I haven't given you my
"Look at
help
that press
today.
box. Here's a guy with binoculars."
Good job, Luke.
Yeah, I got one. Somebody get a picture of this.
Is it out yet?
Right with those turkeys, so you guys gotta move.
Bennett, watch out. Watch out, guys.
Fifth grade, pardon me, 5 years old.
Stop right now. Stop.
He's doing the pig.
Still alive.
He probably has a family somewhere. He probably has a family somewhere. Mom, I told you it's dead.
Holy cow. Yeah. Oh my God.
Where's the snippers?
What do you think, Maddie? Perfect?
It's perfect, Mo. It's absolutely perfect.
Maddie, are your mom and dad here?
I haven't seen him yet.
I haven't either. I'm looking for them.
With us. So before I read Claire Margie's, I do want to say a little bit of something about you, Uncle Otis. And when I was thinking like what I can say, how you are, obviously kind, generous, compassionate, and then like, okay, there's way too many, but what I can say is, in the best of my life and my family's life, you have always been there. In the most challenging times of our family's life, you have always been there. So, we love you. So, to explain, I'm the youngest and she's the oldest. But, so she's always trying to like, don't pull your pants out. Okay, so this is what I'm reading from Claire Margie right here. So, she wrote this out and decided that as she was writing it out, she had tears streaming down her face so she can read it. So I'm like, I think I can read it.
She speaks good.
Yes, she does. All the way from Houma, Louisiana. Okay. So this is from Claire Margie. Claire Margie? Okay. When I was 14, we got a call from California asking if we could send 100 pounds of shrimp. And then, the best time of my life, when my mama said, Claire Margie, you're going to California. So we loaded the shrimp in ice chests and I escorted it to California. That summer and the next 2 I spent working the fair and traveling over the West Coast with them in that big brown van, listening to Marty Robbins and Dolly Parton. So many adventures and funny stories I could tell. Hanging out with Bob and Rose, Phil, Grandma Mary, and the Hansons. I was the only teenager for miles most of the time, but I was in heaven. Going places I never would have gone, if not for John and that shrimp. He's pretended to be my dad so he could sign my work permit, and people think he's my uncle. But our dads were brothers, so he's really my first cousin. For Jim and Josh, he is dad. Some, he's Papa. For so many, Uncle Otis or just Otis. And for my best friend, who happens to be his amazing other, he is Johnny! he is just John. Teacher, tour guide, fishing guide, restaurant partner, supporter, rescuer. Reddings are many things, but most of all, they are capable. He is the most capable and the most kind, the most giving, and for me, he is the Redding who has been the father that mine couldn't be. Now that you are 80, your next project is getting to 100 so that you can be to Max and Memphis what you have been to me. I love you. Okay, Aqua, Joshua, next up.
Mike and Kathleen. I'm going to start with a little something my brother wrote for my dad. I'll have him read the speech to the little birthday. To my dad. My dad has always been there for me. And he continues to be there for me now, especially now. Almost 80 years, my dad keeps track of all of my appointments and then drives me to wherever I need to go. Going through brain cancer would not be would be a lot more difficult, if not impossible, with my dad if my dad wasn't there for me. Every day he takes me for a morning walk while he waits in the car for an hour or so. He doesn't walk. He should walk with him. Sits in the car and my old man epitomizes the word patience, and I still learn something from him every day. But I still need to figure out how to sew. My dad knows how to sew really well. I don't know that I would claim to sew, but I actually used to sew my shorts in high school, and everyone wanted to buy them. But I'm definitely not his level. Do electrical and be more generous with my time for others, which my dad is really good at. Thanks for being my dad. You have to continue to be my dad for the next few reincarnations so I can continue to learn more things from you. So here's to the best Uber, nurse, dad, a guy could ask for. I truly won the mega lottery when I got Otis as my old man. As a result, Laura gained an incredible father-in-law, and Katie and Ellie gained an amazing papa. Happy almost 80th birthday. We love you very much. Jim, Laura, Katie, and Ellie. I'm not very studious, so I didn't write out a paper to read off of. Just figured I'd wing it. But my dad is something we should all strive to be, which is
I don't know about that. I'm his sister.
She definitely is no longer than I am. But my dad is the most humble guy I know. He is also one of the most generous guys I know. He will he'll give you a shirt off his back if you need it.
Yeah, sell you a pair of pants.
And he might sell you a new pair of pants if you need it. He'll fix your car with the toothpick. Actually, he can't do that anymore because now everything's electronic. But I've seen him fix cars with paper, paper clips, toothpicks, something. I've seen him stop on the side of the road when me and my buddies are trying to go somewhere that's gonna be fun when we get there, and he wants to pull over and help the people on the side of the road because that's what he does. But I love him for it. And I wish I could be half as the man as he is. So I won't carry on because I don't think I can get through it either. But I love him. So I am the youngest Redding, and we just heard from Jim, my older brother. I'm going to let Jeremy have the mic for a short time. Jeremy is like another brother in the Redding family. Jeremy, you have about 4 minutes and then you're going to get off the mic. But, Jeremy is like a brother to us as well. So, call you, Jill.
If you don't know, I'm the dark-skinned Redding. I guess one of the things is, as everybody knows, I mean, we all love Otis. He's been many things to us. I think one of the biggest things, I mean, Jim and Josh are like brothers. He's like my dad as well. Taught me how to fish, how to hunt. All the good things in life, right? But I guess one of the biggest things is that he taught me was some of the simple things, like when you get a jam and you see some different things going on, and you get in the back of your head, and I still do it to this day. One of the questions I always ask myself is, what would Otis do? And I'll tell you what, 9 times out of 10, it's the right thing. And it works out. So, I salute you, Otis. Love you.
I salute you, and I love you too.
I'm going to give a little history. John Ewing Redding was born at home in Ashland City, Tennessee on December 24th, 1937 to Leola Keith Redding and Richard Carroll Redding. John is the middle child. He has a brother Richard and a sister Sue Ann, who is here today. John spent the first 6 years of his life living above the Ashland City Jail. His dad was the sheriff, and his mom took over as a high sheriff when his dad served our country in World War II. In 1943, the Redding family moved to Bayfield, Kentucky, and John lived a country boy's life, having 13 beagles to hunt squirrels and birds. In high school, John was a 3-sport standout: football, basketball, and baseball. One was Toothless John Redding because he lost 2 teeth playing football.
We didn't have face guards.
After graduating from Southwestern Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, he got in his 88 Oldsmobile that took 7 tires, which he carried in the back of his car, to get him to Arcadia, California, where he substituted before getting a full-time job. In 1967, he heard about a small town up north looking for an auto shop teacher. He interviewed with Neil Sweeney, who took him up to meet the interim superintendent at the time, Tom Hart, my dad, who hired him for the job at Amador High School. Some may not know the nickname Otis happened at Amador when John signed an invoice for scrap metal and the man said, "John Redding? Otis Redding, sitting on the dock of the bay." The students heard that and the rest is history. At Amador, he coached freshman and JV basketball under Skip Mohat, and when Foothill opened in 1974, he went over to teach auto shop and continued as JV basketball coach under Tom Hansen. John was the last industrial art teacher at Foothill after they decided to close the shop classes. He finished his teaching career at Independent Study. John has had two very talented parents. From his mom, he inherited his creative side that shows up in his sewing abilities, and from his dad, he learned how to build anything. And from both of them, the love of fishing. He also learned from his parents to give back to others. I've seen John stop to help someone on the side of the road and give them money to continue their journey. He once stood behind a man at Safeway buying a wedding cake, and John paid for it. He's always the first to take the bill if you eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner with him.
Want to sign up?
John has altered countless prom and bridesmaids dresses, shorts and swimsuits. He took a wedding dress, cut it apart, and made a christening gown. I told him he had to get rid of the jeans in the closet, so what did he do? He made a jean jacket. He made a cover for his North River boat, but didn't like the first canvas color, so he picked out a dye, dyed it to look like suede, and made a jacket. He's made 13 poodle skirts for the Valley View 5th grade multicultural event, mended stuffed animals, sewed on patches on Girl Scout vests. Our house and our Twain Harte cabin have many paintings that John painted. After a trip to Louisiana, he came home and built a Piro boat. It may take all night to list all the construction projects he's done for himself and friends, and I think most of his friends in our family had his phone number on speed dial. John is the best father to his two sons, Jim and Josh, always there to love and support them. His cousin Claire is like a daughter, and when she got married, John walked her down the aisle. The chorus of a Martina McBride song sums up John for me. Everyone who sees you always wants to know you, and everyone who knows you always has a smile. You're a standing ovation after years of waiting for a chance to finally shine. Everyone calls you amazing, but I just call you mine.
Thank you all for coming. I'll see you in 5 years.
Let Bob Lyons have the mic for about 3 minutes and then hand it back to me. But Bob Lyons would like to say a little something about my dad, and if any of you know Bob like I do, we could be here all night, so that's why I'm giving him 3 minutes. But Bob has got a lot of great memories and stories about my dad, and he is a lot better storyteller than I am.
I got a quick story for you. I was teaching at Mission San Jose High School, and John was up at Foothill. So he called me up one day and he says, hey, why don't we go down to a soup kitchen and feed those people? So I got a hold of the soup kitchen down in St. Andrew, St. Joseph's. We went down there to serve them the last Saturday in May. Last Saturday in May, we go down there, and somebody else had already started serving, so we were working in the back washing pots and pans. And this big black guy came in, he weighed about 300 pounds with bib overalls on. And he said, boys, he says, I can't eat this stuff. He said, you gave us potato soup over rice. And he says, everything's sticking together up here. So John says, hey, do I detect a Louisiana accent there? And the guy said, yeah. He said, I'm from Louisiana. John said, well, I played basketball down there. So John said, well, I used to eat at Mars Kitchen. And the black guy said, that's where I ate. And we used to get this coupon for 25 cents. So John says to him, you know what? Next time I come down here, we'll make you some coupon. So John asked the lady, he said, how many people do we serve? She said, we serve 200. So John said, I need 50 pounds of fish. So on the way home, he said, we need. I said, we? What's this we stuff? Tuesday night, and he said, why don't we go fishing tomorrow? I said, John, there's no fish out there. The cattle are laying underneath the trees. No fish, it's too hot. He said, well, when are we going fishing? I said, I don't know. He said, if you don't want to go, I'll get somebody else. I said, get somebody else. So he did. So the next morning, I'm going up to help McEntee cut a tree down in Tahoe. So John calls me up at 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, you still going to Tahoe? I said, yeah. You going fishing? He said, yeah. I said, who are you going with? He said, I couldn't get anybody. So he said, I'm going by myself. Well, you know, when you got a boat and a trailer and you're going by yourself, you know, there's a screw missing there somewhere, right? So I go up to Tahoe, and John goes fishing. And he saw all those boats out there, and he asked him, you got anything? No, nobody even got a bite. So he's traveling along, and he sees this willow tree, and he ties up to it. So he casts out. We need 50 pounds of fish, right? He casts out, and as soon as that line hit the water, he waited for a couple minutes, set the pole, and then he bent over, zingo! There it goes. So he finally got that fish in. Now the problem was, he had to drop the pole, pick up the net, and catch it before he got around the motor. So he got him in the boat, and he got a scale in there, and he weighed him. He weighed 37 pounds. We need 50 pounds of fish, right? So while he's trying to get that hook out, he throws the other pole out. And while he's in there trying to fish it out, there goes the other pole. So he brings in this other fish, you know what it weighs? 13 pounds. 50 pounds of fish. So he calls me up at Tahoe. I just drove in, and he said, you got to come back home. I had to put the beer back in the refrigerator, drive back down to Livermore, and we cooked at St. Charles out there in Livermore. We cooked that coubillon. So he sent me down to Safeway with a great big list of stuff. And so I told the lady a story, and she picked up the bill. We went down there, and we called up Shirley, and we told her we're coming down with coubillon. We had to add water. We had so many people lined up for food. Now, what happened after that was we fed thousands of people. Because John and I go through the locker rooms at Foothill and at Mission San Jose, get all that clothes all lined up and have a big barbecue for them. And we ran that program for 23 years. So there's thousands of homeless people dressed finely because of John the Baptist.
First of all, you got to understand he's Irish. So you can't believe it. 38 and 12.
38 and 12, we fed thousands of people.
So, Uncle Al wants to say something.
Uncle Al!
So, for those of you who don't know, Uncle Al happens to be the oldest man in the room.
99.
He's 99 years old.
Hey John, where are you? Hey John.
Hey, can you see over here? How old are you anyway?
John, the first thing I want to say is you have done so much for Liz and I. You put a floor in Twain Hart. You put a floor in our room at home. But one of the most important things that you ever did was Jim Hart was just getting started working. And you came over to our house, and what did you do? You put a fireplace, you and Jim Hart. Jim did the work, but you told him how to do it, what to do. And John, I don't know how many years ago that is.
Long time.
And you know what, John? You're still doing the same thing.
I love you, Al.
God bless you.
So, before we
Lexington Fairgrounds Racetrack, and this is how I met Johnny Redding. We were in line making a bet, and this guy comes up behind me, and he says, "You're Tom Hansen." I said, "Yeah." So I'm John Redding. I'm your new freshman basketball coach. And that's how we met way back
I don't
in.
remember that.
Well, you're older than me and you're forgetful. You're forgetful. Well, that's how we met.
Oh shit.
One of the probably happiest days in my life was I got a phone call from John, and he said, "Hey, Hans, I'd like you to do me a favor." I said, "What's that?" He says, "I want you to be best man at my wedding."
Amen, brother.
Take your hand.
And I said,
No
"Yeah,
way.
I would like to." He says, "Yeah, Mary and I, we're kind of thinking about getting married, and we want you to be our best man." And I said, "Thank you very much." I hung up the phone. My wife said, "Well, when are they going to get married?" I said, "You know what, we didn't get into details. I just said I was going to be best man at his wedding." And Johnny, that was unbelievable. But everything that everybody has said about John is the truth.
We're not quite fired up yet. Hey, I would suggest not eating this cake when I'm done. Wow.